Hey everyone, it's Bulldog, and I'm back with another Grand Arena strategy video, although this one's very different than what I've done in the past. So normally I talk about what teams to use as far as how to attack. This time I'm going to talk about when to attack and the debate surrounding that discussion and kind of give my input on how that impacts my gameplay. But before I get to that, real quick, I do want to mention that I did get my Discord server set up. I mentioned that in the last video. That is up. The link's in the description. If you want to come talk and hang out with me, go there. Whether it's gaming or Star Wars books or whatever, I don't care. So, anyways, on to my Grand Arena event, and I had to record this one because it's set up perfect. I decided to go all out on defense. You see, I've got maybe not all out, but I've got a very strong defensive team here, and he attacked first, and he he didn't clear the board. He's got two teams that he didn't clear, and he used a lot of attacks to clear the others. So this is going to fit perfectly into this discussion. It's been a debate on the forums quite a bit. Is it a problem that as far as when you can attack, and is attacking last an advantage, is attacking first an advantage? And when I set my defense, I actually do factor this in. So you can see what he's attacking, or what I've got to attack here. And when I say it, I factor that in. I feel like attacking first is you're at less of a disadvantage if you're going to clear the board. So if I know, like for example, if I'm working a 12 to 9 shift, then I know I'm not going to be able to attack right at 5 o'clock. I'm probably going to be the first one to attack. I tend to hold a lot of offense back and work on clearing the board and getting the max possible points, even if I have a weak defense. And the reason that I do that is, sorry, I'm trying to scroll through my teams and decide what I'm going to attack. I'll get to my strategy there in a second. But anyways, if if I'm attacking first, I want to get the max number of points because I feel like attacking first is less of a disadvantage when it's going to be a point battle as far as who can clear the board the most efficiently. The only time you're going to get an advantage attacking last is if it comes down to just a few points. In a 1 point match or a tie match where the tiebreaker is not going to go your way, that going last can be a huge advantage in that I'm making mistakes here as I'm playing this battle, but that's okay. It's going to be an easy battle. If you know exactly the point number you have to play to, that can help. But sometimes it can actually, I think it can harm you as well if the person goes first and does such a good job clearing the board and gets a near max number of points. It really puts a lot of pressure on you not to make a mistake when you're going last. And I still would prefer to go last, but I think you can argue that there's an advantage in going first if you can do so well that you put the pressure on your opponent and maybe force them to be more aggressive than they normally would. Maybe they think they have to try and go with a squad of 4 or something like that to try and make up some points. And that's why I go all offense if I know I'm going to be attacking first. In this case, I was actually getting off of work early. I knew I was going to be able to attack last. I set a strong defense because if your opponent doesn't clear the board, attacking last is such a massive advantage. So I don't know if you remember what teams I had there. We'll go back and kind of scroll through this a little bit. But if I was attacking first and looking at the teams that I have and what I'm going against, I'm honestly not sure how I would do. So the best team is probably that Padme team, and I've never actually faced a team like that. They're not quite max Zetas. I did face a couple of them in arena, but I'm using my own Darth Revan team or modifying that team slightly to be able to win. I've never seen a double Zeta Padme team in Grand Arena where I can play around. So I'm not exactly sure what would win. I feel like I could win with my Traya team, and I could use Traya and probably put Thrawn in there to kind of control the protection up in the buffs. Um, Enough Scion would help to just kind of stall long enough that Nihilus could pick apart some people if I wasn't doing enough damage otherwise. I think I could probably get through that, but I'm not really sure. It's not something I've ever tried before. And if I tried that and lost, I would be in real trouble as far as trying to clear their entire board. And that's normally that's the approach when forgetting what the opponent is doing. Usually people approach things using your best team against their best team and trying to clear the entire board. Here, going second, I don't have to worry about that at all. And I took a mirror match here. I know I only need 4 wins. If you look at the points here, 4 clean wins, and I've got this. So I can just completely ignore any 3 teams that I want, and adjust all my teams down. So now I'm taking my top team against their fourth best team, my second best team against their fifth best team, and so on. And obviously adjusting for matchups a little bit, but I've got a lot more freedom to knowing the points that I need. Now I guess I would be at risk if he actually had some other teams that he could attack with. He stopped attacking. I think he did his attacks all yesterday, quite a while ago, when they close to when they first opened up. And if he actually had some teams saved back and popped up in the last second and took out an extra team, that might throw me off. But honestly, if he's aware enough to do that, especially since I haven't published this video and said what I do, to pop back up in the last minute and have a team like that, then I'll tip my cap and give him the victory. But all I have to do is pick any 4 teams that I want, and I can just choose the bottom 4 teams, and we've got easy matches. I don't have to stress about going after those top teams. I I kind of want to. My desire to make this video and show how advantageous it can be to go last. Not all the time, but this was just a perfect scenario for how going last can be a massive advantage. Um, I think a lot of people on the forums have agreed that a lot of people think it's a minor advantage. Some people don't think it's an advantage at all. A few people think it's a disadvantage to go last. As I mentioned, they like to put pressure on the opponents. But if you get in a match where you set a strong defense, it it is it's such a huge advantage going last. I don't think I'll have any problems clearing any of these teams. We'll see how many more mistakes I make as I'm trying to talk about this while not really focusing on the match. But yeah, I think this is a problem as we get towards these Grand Arena Championships, as we up the ante, and kind of get more competitive with some of these things. Of course, I can't get any days there. It you could argue if people are starting at the same time, if both people have the same choice of going last and kind of playing chicken at the end, maybe if you want, as far as who's going to go first and who's not, then maybe that's not an unfair advantage. But what if I'm playing somebody from like Hong Kong, for example? I think Hong Kong's exactly 12 hours on the other side. They're close to that. Don't quote me. That time zone thing might not be perfect, but it's 5 a.m. I mean, you can't expect them to wake up at 4:30 in the morning in order to be the last one to attack to get some sort of advantage. If this can impact how you play, I feel like at minimum, CG needs to rotate when Grand Arena starts. Right now, it's always 5 o'clock, 5 U.S. Eastern, and I don't think it's ever changed. If it has been, it's still been around the same time. There hasn't been a drastic time change, and at minimum, that needs to change. I would still like to see more drastic changes. For example, I would like to not be able to see the other person's first attack until maybe I attack. Or maybe you can only see like one attack ahead or so many attacks ahead or whatever it is. That way somebody's not at a disadvantage. Like this person here, maybe they wanted to attack last, but they couldn't because they were working and they didn't have a choice. And that's basically going to give me an easy win when he actually had me outmodded on quite a bit of teams. He took out my Darth Revan team with one shot. I think that and my crappy Ewok team was the only one he did one shot on. So he had the better Darth Revan team. He had a faster first order team than me. He's got more Zetas on his Padme than I did. I I didn't necessarily do a full comparison overall, but it's at least an equal match. He might I think he might have me outmodded really really pretty well. Um, and I just don't. I'm not sure this is a fair way to do things, especially if we're going to go into Grand Arena Championships. And I know a lot of people disagree, so that's why I wanted to show this video here to really show. Okay, yeah, I only need 35 points here, and I'm just gonna take my, let's see, I think I've got my Sith team left. Um, yeah, we'll just use it. It's not gonna matter. They're not really going to stand a chance. I don't know if there's anybody else I should put here, but we'll go with this. Um, I didn't even have to play their other team. So I think this is something that I would like to see fixed. And I don't know if there's a great solution to fixing it. I mean, if anybody has any ideas, I'd love to hear them. Because I don't think I mentioned hiding some of the attacks. I know a lot of people aren't going to like that, and they like to watch that. It I don't know of a I don't really know of a better option. Jeez, 13. Well, let's load up. Trey's got to have a ton of offense there. Yeah, well, there we go. Sorry, getting distracted. It's kind of fun watching all these damage over times build up and then do absolutely nothing. It's kind of like I think I had a video with first order of that previously. Where was I at? I think I was repeating myself about something because I don't really have much more to add as we finish up this attack here. This should be the winning squad. Big Z is gonna be a little bit of a pain. Not difficult. He just stacks all his defense, and you know, why not? Not sure if I should have fractured him. It'd be nice if he took a turn so we could get rid of that defense, but we'll get through here eventually. Or Nihilus will annihilate him, whichever comes first. I so that's kind of how I approach things is if I know I'm going first, I try to make sure I don't give the opponent this advantage. So I want to make sure that I can absolutely clear the board. So I kind of do the opposite. Those things I put on defense, I will keep for offense. And I also like to keep teams that kind of restore protection to make sure we get all those bonus points. Going max points where when I'm attacking last, I like to set this very strong defense to use this kind of tricks to my advantage. Okay, so yep, there we go, enough to win. Chose three teams and just didn't even mess with them. And there we are. There's officially the win. He did not attack at the last second, so that was good. Just had to wait that out a little bit. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts. I don't have too much to add. Just wanted to share how I approach that, and kind of get everybody else's thoughts on if they think this is okay. Because I kind of honestly feel a little bit dirty winning like that. I mean, I I obviously do it, and I mean if that's the way the game's played, I'm gonna use it to my advantage whenever I can and try to minimize the advantage when I can't. But that's how it is. So Before I go, one last thing. For those who didn't see my last video, got my Let's Get Lit campaign here. We don't have any characters that are exclusive to the literature in the game yet. I would like to campaign to get these guys in here. I absolutely love the Star Wars books and comics. They are amazing. They're really what's drawn me into to the Star Wars universe, even more so than the movies did. So I would love for you guys to join me and try and help me get some of these characters in the game. If you like the books and comics like I do, also feel free to come to the Discord server. We can chat about that as well. So I'll see a lot of you over there. Thanks again for watching, guys.